right, this is our first and currently only DM podcast on the Campaign Craft channel. I'm DM Sleeper. That's actually my name, and these are my cousins, and we all DM or GM.
So, I can't help but notice you took the thing I was fiddling with. Can I have that back?
Can you have that back?
He's just real jealous he doesn't have a fiddle toy.
They all needed something to do with their hands when they got in here, except for you. Where's your little thing? Is it over there? Oh, did I take it? I took it earlier, didn't I?
It's the ball that I was
Ready?
David's got the microphone. He doesn't need a toy.
Well, the microphone is my toy. All right, questions. In your mind, or based on your definition, what is a DM or a GM, and what makes a good one? Jeremy?
I mean, just having fun, you know? Doesn't matter.
Do the players not have fun?
No, God, no. If they're having fun, you're not having fun. Yeah. I'll tell you that right now.
True.
Fair. I respect it. Jacob, what makes a good DM or GM?
Oh, you're not going to ask what they are?
What is it?
Well, a DM is a dungeon master, and a GM is a game master. One can run board games and other systems. The other can run Dungeons and Dragons.
Exclusively.
True. He's a DM.
I've done both.
He's a DM. He's a retired GM.
I've retired.
What makes a good DM or GM? Finding your roles quickly. Or at least making something up quick enough.
Or having Eddie at the table.
Very
Only
useful.
for certain systems.
One.
Dungeons and Dragons specifically.
Only for DMs.
Oh, what's my question?
Same question. What is a GM or a DM? What makes a good one?
GMs are typically games that aren't Dungeons and Dragons. DMs are Dungeons and Dragons.
What makes a
And
good...
a good DM or GM would punish players out of game for no reason.
Yeah, we were going to lunch earlier, and I just started tearing into Jacob. Like, no reason to it. Just
I don't even have
did I say?
inspiration anymore.
Oh yeah, y'all all lost that.
Well, you never guessed the thing I was
Actually,
referencing.
give me that back.
Tweaker.
That's where it went.
All right.
That's where I got it from.
In my mind, the GM or DM is just the window into the world. You have a world with a game in it and the things that you do, and the DM and the GM are just your way of seeing into that world.
I can't imagine having a world.
And a good one is one who can see it and convey it clearly. All right, next question. How did you start, and how long have you been running games?
Start DMs specifically, or
Yeah,
playing
just
in general?
running. Go ahead and both. Answer both.
Well, playing in general, me and you wanted to try out D&D.
Palladium Fantasy.
Wanted to try out D&D, and his friend only had Palladium Fantasy.
The worst starter system.
The best starter system.
Not the worst.
I love Palladium.
We were rolling D100s to determine our insanities. It took about 3 hours for us to roll 2 characters.
I could now make a character in 15 minutes.
It was a issue, clearly.
I mean, I think we were teenagers, like 13.
I actually know why I started DMing, and it's very simple. I was trying to bully Zoe into playing D&D with us, and as such, ended up running 13th Age for you people.
With a Zelda twist on it. I was part of that game.
Still twisted.
Well, I started. We would play just a totally makeshift version of Star Wars role playing game when we were kids. I remember that.
A little bit, yeah.
But I think the time I really started running games in general was for the youth kids at my church. I made like a super rules light stripped down version with barely any D&D or Pathfinder or anything like that experience. And then sometime after
Plenty
that...
of extra deities, though.
No, that's illegal at church. And then my wife asked me, "Can you run D&D for me and my friends?" And then so I just started poring over like Matthew Colville videos and stuff like that. Jeremy?
Let's see. My first time I think ever playing D&D, I think was with y'all once. I think I did like one part session with y'all where y'all playing with.
Was that the Zelda game?
No.
That was 13th Age. He was talking about D&D.
Yeah. I think that was my very first time. So how many years ago that was?
More than 2.
Way more than 2.
You're talking about when Emerson ran a
Yeah.
game for us?
Oh,
and
I was-
really
I was-
cheaty
Emerson.
app.
Yeah, I was there for like one partial session. or
That
something.
app that
I think
totally
I got
didn't
eaten.
roll lower than like a 15 the entire
I
game.
think I got eaten by something or something like that.
Was
Like,
it a Gru?
I couldn't tell you what it was, but I think I like insta died. I was like, that's it, whatever.
He killed
But,
you, but with a null, I think.
I don't know.
And after you died, I think me and David decided to just kill each other.
Yeah.
I don't remember that. I remember there being spiders. Were there spiders?
No?
I might be remembering
The-
something else.
the
Was I
spid-
part of this?
Yes.
I remember 2 games with Emerson's. One was at your apartment, and the other one was at my house when I was.
With the Legos. That one had
Yes.
spiders, I think.
No, I don't remember. I remember the Lich because we were playing evil characters
Yeah,
and we
we
tried to
tried-
intimidate Lich.
And we totally didn't.
Yeah, but actually GMing itself, I think the first time I actually did it is technically I had the rule books open. It was just at school. We just we pulled up a dice app. We just in between. I think it was like lunch or something. We just sat around. I was like, oh, let's just figure this out. And I just read it and GM'd kind of.
With only 30 minutes at a time to do so. That's impressive. Eddie?
It was not good.
The first time I GM'd was a Riffs game, and it's real.
Ouch!
complicated.
New worst starter game.
It's real complicated. A
my
bunch of
favorite
rules,
system.
especially since you homebrew it a bunch. But that was, I think, 3 years ago at this point. I think that's when I first ran one. You weren't a part of it. You hate Riffs.
I don't hate. It's messy. It's messy and big, and it's hard to figure out where to start with it.
It's only big if you have a small mind.
You know, the guy that made the AK-47 said any fool could make something complicated. It takes a genius to make something simple. People are still being killed with those things today.
Somebody invented a wedge 1 billion years ago. Everybody else has just copied them ever since.
Yeah,
I
you
don't-
put a wedge on a stick, that's an axe.
You're not wrong.
And if you make the wedge fancy, you get riffs.
No.
It's a wedge of the relationships. You get it?
Only
We're
this
growing
one.
apart. All right. Next question. What percentage of GMing is storytelling, and what percentage is game design?
I mean, really, it varies. For me personally,
Depends on the type of game you're running.
yeah, it's system and just personal preference parties. Some people like, mechanics heavy. Some people like story heavy. I personally, I like mechanics. I just don't like to prep a lot, so I tend to be more story driven.
The story comes up on the spot. The mechanics are already there. It's just a matter of using them to screw
Yeah.
your players
Game
the
design,
best.
though. Game design.
So kind of like drag and drop challenges and let the mechanics do their job.
More or less.
Yeah.
As long as you know what your player's stats are and you throw something that can somewhat match that stat or completely overwhelm it if you feel like it, it will work out eventually.
Yeah, that's it happens whenever I ask for your HP. I was like, here's a monster. What's your HP at? Make sure this don't one-shot y'all. And if it's not going to one-shot y'all, I'm like, all right, that's what I'm going to base it all around.
I think because of what you were saying about the story will kind of happen at the table, you really want to be like 75% game designer and 25% storyteller. Like you want to be
Designer really does imply a lot of input and
Yeah,
effort. A lot of the design for at least my games comes from just the mechanics of the game itself.
Mhm.
And the only thing I really do is come up with what the enemy is and the general situation going on.
And if there's like a gimmick, like the dungeon we're going through right now with the curses in each room, like that's a gimmick that affects play in each room, and then you take normal things, and then those normal things become different in light of the gimmick of the room. And so it's the game design, but the story progressed naturally from y'all's characters just existing in that space.
Yeah.
It turns out curses can cause inter-party disputes that get one player almost killed outside by cultists.
I'm pretty sure you died like 3 times in that.
I only died once.
I think you juggled 0.
I did juggle 0.
Alright. Do you have any sources of inspiration for your DMing?
I'm not gonna make the same character sheet joke.
I would say it's at the top of the camera.
And it says point.
Yeah.
That was my joke from earlier.
Yeah, he made the joke first. It's not him. He's not funny.
Yeah, his sense of humor is to not have humor.
Or sense.
My inspiration, I mean, I don't really pull from like a particular thing. I just read a lot of different things. I see something, I was like, that's a really interesting magic gimmick. It's just note taking, and then next year I'll remember that note. Yeah, that's my whole process.
I'll read something and then I'll have an idea based on that, and then I'll get an idea off of that, and that's eventually what'll lead to the idea that I use in the game.
I just listen to a bunch of different games, and I pull little things from each game, pretty much. So
I'm totally gonna rip off an already published story somewhere and see if anybody notices.
Hey, you stole a story.
I've stole that. I've done that.
I think I'd try and pull the general tone or vibe from something and create things that have that same the same feeling behind it. Like I'll pull from C.S. Lewis or J.R.R. Tolkien, or I'll pull from like classic dungeon crawls, but it's not like I'm pulling the challenges. I'm pulling the the feelings of it, the themes, the ideas.
You
Yeah.
should try and pull from Teletubbies and see what you get. I bet that'll be a wild session.
I kind of leave like the feeling.
It would.
Like the vibe of it, I leave to the players, and I just base it off of their, like, you know, if they're going in like, you know, what they're being very serious characters, like, oh well, this is going more serious. I guess scrap that one. And,
Yeah, get rid of the clown next time.
yeah, the vampire clown.
Maybe the first villain doesn't come back flipping down the path.
Or skateboarding off a meteor, for example.
I don't know.
That only happens if the character's high enough or trapped in an illusion.
Or you could be playing Contra, the role-playing game, where all your rolls are nat ones. Alright, what game or games are you running right now?
Pathfinder 2e. It's like the gimmick is like there's a corruption going around, kind of like, well, I can't say too much. There are players here. Like some sort of weird disease, like modifying creatures from any species by the seams of it. And then I've got a Rifts game. Yeah, I've got a Rifts game. Very standard New West style kind of, you know, cowboys and knights. You know, standard Rift stuff.
I'm running one game for these guys and our wives, where it's they're called the New Fables, and it's essentially just an adventurers guild with the tone borrowed from the anime fairy tale. And then and it's not Monster of the Week, but it's also not one giant campaign. It's rather like arcs that they go through. And then I'm running one for my church group, and it's another adventurers guild, so that we get people dropping in and out of play, and we could more easily introduce people to like the idea of playing a role-playing game that aren't familiar with it. And then I'm running another one for these guys where it's I don't remember what we're calling it, but they're seafarers and they're like privateers.
Kind of, except for when we decided to start an international war to end the world.
You didn't decide. You accidentally started the Apocalypse War.
It wasn't an accident.
I stand by killing that guy. He totally deserved it.
Completely.
I've got a Rifts game going. I've got a D&D game going. Got another D&D game going. The Rifts one, they're exploring just outside the breaches of galaxies. or further. In the D&D ones, though, I've got one that's they're like in a traveling carnival group, kind of, but they're also protecting against a sudden uptick in cult activity. Ooh. And the other D&D one is a Zelda-styled one, based earlier on during the calamity of Breath of the Wild.
And I got about 3 D&D games. One of them is a pirate campaign. And then you got another one where I dropped them to Shadowfell and they're trying to escape. Then you got another one where it's a classic adventurers walking around the continent, just trying to do some jobs.
Murder hoboing?
No,
He's missing
as much as they
Rift's
want.
games.
No, I'm done with Rifts. It's so much homebrewed.
See?
We can play the base system if you want.
No, that's even more broken.
Now that we have a better understanding of it, it won't be as bad.
It probably would be easier to run now, but it's still a bunch more complicated than D&D.
Well,
Nah.
What is y'all's favorite genre and system other than Rifts? You can say...
Well, Eddie wouldn't have said Rifts. You know what he'll say.
I do like playing Rifts. I don't like DMing it, though. Or GMing
Okay,
it, my
but
bad.
what is your favorite genre and system?
I do like fantasy. I don't know if I like Dungeons and Dragons or Pathfinder more. Pathfinder's real fun. You know, the once every month we play it.
Rifts is totally the best system. Don't let these people scare you.
Specifically y'all's version of Rifts?
No,
Well-
any version of Rifts. Except for Savage Worlds. I don't like Savage Worlds. But, favorite genre? I like the mishmash settings that you get with, like, Rifts and Shadowrun and stuff like that. But, if I had to pick just, like, one kind of genre, I'd probably go with fantasy. But it's hard to pick between that and sci-fi.
Yeah.
Favorite system to GM 13th Age because I don't even have to look down. I can just look up the whole way. I don't even have to roll if I don't want to. To play Pathfinder 2e probably just because I like the system.
Those are kind of opposites, aren't they?
Pathfinder 2e
Yes.
is definitely my runner-up for systems.
Yeah, as a player, I love mechanics heavy. As a GM, I love mechanics light.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that from a GM point of view. My favorite genre is fantasy, though I do like other genres. And then my favorite system is actually not one you've ever heard of because I'm still making it. And you'll see more of that on the channel as time progresses.
See, this is what it's all about. He just wanted to place the product placement.
Yep, you can all go home now. Get out of my house.
Do I
He
still
drug
get paid?
us here just to shill. I can't believe this.
I heard I was getting $5 for this. Do I still get it?
No, go. I told you to wear the shirt.
It didn't fit.
I don't care. They're not going to see your navel.
Aggressive navel.
What is one piece of advice you would give to a new DM or GM?
Don't look at the rules as often.
Have an Eddie at your table.
Don't.
Just don't. Nothing else. Let the players, mess around. Just let them take care of themselves and then jump in occasionally.
Okay,
In actuality, don't let the players do that for too long, though.
Yeah.
Because
sure.
you'll run out of time to do anything.
I really like sentences that start with "so do you," and then just fill it in with whatever they're probably about to do.
It's like, are you sure you want to do this? You can do it.
Oh, that's my favorite line. Is, are you sure you wanna? Or you can if you want. Those are pretty good lines.
Any closing thoughts?
Go to the Underdark, swim in the acid pools.
Well, with that, this has been Campaign Craft, and I hope we've helped you craft your campaign.